The past 7 years, I've moved every year, and some of those years I moved multiple times within that year. Really quick, I want to have a conversation for those of you who you're getting ready to move. You feel like you need to move. You have a desire to move. You're tired of being where you are right now. Like you heard God say it's time for you to move. While God told you to move, here's a couple things I want you to consider before you actually make the move, because I want to tell you what I did wrong. After about 7 years of moving consistently, I realized that I kept moving because I was running away from something, okay? When I first left home, I left because I knew that I did not want to be at home anymore. Like I did not want to be connected to certain aspects of what was going on with my family. I didn't want to be connected to the pain, the trauma, the memories. I didn't want it. I literally used to be in my high school classes my senior year looking down at my feet trying to figure out where I'm about to go because I knew it could not be at home, right? My first reasoning for wanting to leave home, it had nothing to do with God. It had to do with me basically wanting to run away from the reality that I was experiencing. So that led to me leaving home, going south to go to college. Within 6 months, I was back at home, going to school in my home state. After that, I moved to another state. Within a year, I was back at home where I started at. Each time, I ended up either going back or moving forward and having to come back. So I ended up doing a big move that was completely far from home because I had got a job opportunity. And at that time, I know God was calling me away from home, and I knew I needed to leave home so that I can become a better person. However, when God told me to leave home, he gave me specific instruction. I was to forgive the people that hurt me at home. I was to let go of the relationship that I was in while I was at home. And I was supposed to leave and start completely new. Now I left home. I thought I had forgave, I didn't, but I left the relationship behind. However, the person ended up following me to Arizona, which is where I moved to, and I welcomed them into my home, and I, started trying to work back on a relationship with them. I don't want to get too much into that because that's a whole nother story within itself, and I actually wrote about it on my blog if you want to look more into that. I want to let you know that before you move, before you act on what God told you to do, make sure you're clear on why he's sending you wherever you're going, or make sure you're clear on why you're going wherever you're going. And don't take any baggage with you. Don't take any unnecessary things with you, and make sure you consecrate, you pray and fast before you get there when you first arrive there. And if you have people that you have not forgiven, if you're running away from a situation, if you're running away from a relationship, I highly recommend for you to deal with that before you leave. Release the people before you leave. Forgive them before you leave. That way, if God is really calling you to new, you go and experience new, and you're not tempted to look back or go back because you have already dealt with it before he moved you out of that situation, okay? So for a lot of you, some of you are moving and you're moving soon. Some of you feel in your spirit it's time for you to move. You know, you're in a season of transition. So I just wanted to share with you to not only obey God, but transition with strategy, okay? Let prayer and fasting be the foundation of that. Be consecrated once you get to your arrival, and don't take anything that you don't need to take. Pack lightly. If God said he's giving you a new start, let it be just that, new, okay? No old relationships that need to go. Forgive and release. No old things that don't need to go. If you want new, have room for new when you get there, okay? So that's just what I wanted to share. And above that, I also wanted, because I'm feeling to talk about Abraham. When God called him out of his home country, he gave him specific instructions. He told him to get up, leave your country, leave your family, specifically his father's bloodline, leave them behind. And Abraham, he got up, he left, he took his family, but he also took his nephew, which we see in the Bible that it was some issues along the line because he brought him. However, God gave him specific instructions, and one of them was to leave his family, and he did not. And it showed up along the line. So God gives specific instructions if he's telling you to move, and make sure you follow them so that you can truly get what he has for you without any delay, without any having to go back and forth, without any having to move from place to place, without having to run from any situation. Okay, so that's all I have for you. I pray that God blesses your move, your transition, and I pray that you move with strategy and obedience of God. Okay, I pray the best, the blessings that you deserve over, and for God's favor to follow you, his goodness and his mercy to follow you everywhere you go. Okay, love you. Bye. Happy moving.